Santorini is one of the prettiest islands in Greece and is an amazing spot to dine on some unbelievable Greek food. In this video, we're exploring the island and sharing some of Santorini's best kept secrets and delectable classics. So sit back, hit that like button, and we'll walk through the top foods you need to try when you visit the Greek island of Santorini. Our first stop on the food tour is taking us to the capital of Santorini, Fira. This is one of the prettiest towns on the island, and here, amongst the winding Cycladic streets, we're picking up a delicious takeaway meal. With our food in hand, we're trekking along the cliffside walkway to find a scenic spot to chow down while downtown.
Another really affordable gyro option in downtown Fira is a place called Luggage. We just grabbed these to go. Michael got the pork, I got the falafel, and it's a 3-minute walk to this amazing sunset point. So we took them to go and we're about to enjoy some of the best gyro views we've ever had. And one thing to note about this pita wrap that's been different than the others is that the falafel they gave me is actually 2 large balls of falafel, which I'm pretty excited about. And they also included a heaping ton of tzatziki on there. And this was only €4 and the people inside were super nice. So we'd highly recommend this spot, even before I take a bite. So here we go. Oh my gosh. I just got a mouthful of tzatziki, which is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna see if I can get some falafel in there. That is incredible. And the falafel has a bit of kick to it. So if you're looking for a cheap dinner in Fira with an amazing view, definitely check this place out. Continuing on with our food tour, we're leaving the capital city of Fira and embarking on the 7-mile hike to Ia, the other major town on the island. After walking along the coastal edges of Fira and trekking along the seaside walkway, we're stopping for a quick mid-hike snack, Greek style.
So the next stop on our food tour took us to a classic Greek bakery. They were selling tons upon tons of classic Greek dishes in there, and we picked up something we were told we have to try when we come to Greece, and especially Santorini. And that's an authentic Greek spinach and cheese pie. I almost cheaped out trying to get just a cheese pie because the spinach ones were €1 more, and the baker actually gave me a discount to try to incentivize me to actually try the true spinach and cheese pie. So I'm really happy we did, and I can't think of a better spot to try it than right here. We're currently on the hike right now between Fira and Ia, and it just gives you unbelievable views of the Aegean Sea and all the towns along the way. We cover this in our top things to do in Santorini video, all the other things to do and see when you're in Santorini, so be sure to check it out if you're interested. So I think this is probably the most beautiful spot I've ever sat down to eat a pastry, so here goes nothing. Right off the bat, it doesn't look like a pie. It's definitely just a flaky triangle. The bread almost looks more like a croissant than a pie crust, but I'm gonna go in for this first bite here. That is so savory. The cheese flavor is so strong, and I absolutely see why they put spinach in there. It adds really hearty flavor to it. It almost reminds me of the fried spinach you get at a steakhouse or something. The pastry is really light and crispy, so you really don't taste much of the dough at all. The real star of the show is definitely the spinach and the cheese. And having been in my warm black backpack for a while, it's actually a little warm to the touch, which makes it so much nicer. It's almost like what I'd imagine a Greek calzone to be, because you have the cheese and a little bit of spinach in there. And it's actually surprisingly filling, which is pretty important because the town of Ia is way over there, and we're gonna need a lot of fuel if we're gonna make it all the way on this hike. So here we go. With our bellies full of spinach pie, we continued on to Ia. The hike was scenic at every bit of the way, and we stopped at plenty of spots along the trail to check out the sea and admire the beautiful churches along the way. If you're looking to avoid the crowds and get a workout in, this coastal trek is an absolute must-do while you're visiting. Anyways, after approaching Ia and catching one of the city's famous sunsets, we caught a bus back to Fira for another day of eating.
After exploring the city a bit longer and marveling at all the sights to see, the next stop on our food tour is taking us to a highly rated sit-down spot to try some unique twists on classic Greek dishes. All right, so we finally got our hands on moussaka. We've been trying to get this ever since we've been in Greece, and pretty much every single place we tried to get it at, it has been sold out or they're not serving it anymore. So it's been a long time coming, and it looks absolutely delicious. So this is a traditional meal of Greece, and the only thing I can think to compare it to is maybe like a shepherd's pie. So traditionally it has a couple of different layers. On the top is bechamel sauce. The middle is usually some combination of eggplant and ground meat, and the bottom is potatoes. The difference with this version is it's actually vegan, so I'm not really sure how they did the bechamel sauce, but I'm pretty sure the filling is going to be mostly eggplant based instead of having that meat in there. So I'm gonna go in for a bite and try and get some of the main layers here. Looks absolutely delicious. Wow, it almost has a sweetness to it. We heard that it's actually typical to use nutmeg or cinnamon in these dishes, so I think that might be where the sweetness is coming from. Gonna try just the filling here. That's a pretty great meat substitute, actually. I think they might have used something like lentils in addition to the eggplant because it has a really hearty and filling element to it. Let me try to isolate the bechamel sauce now. Yeah, I definitely think the bechamel is what I'm picking up in terms of the sweetness. Normally, bechamel is kind of cheesy. This isn't exactly cheesy, but it has similar elements to that. I'd highly recommend this dish. Like I said, it's similar to shepherd's pie, so it has that warm, cozy element, but the vegan version is obviously going to be lighter, so yeah, pretty good. We ourselves are not vegan. We do eat mostly vegetarian at home, but just in general, when we're traveling, we like to scope out the restaurants that make the authentic cuisine with a vegan or vegetarian twist on it. I just think it's kind of fun to see how they change up the recipe, and sometimes they really get creative with it. I think it's a great way to authentically try the local cuisine, but if you have those dietary restrictions, you're not left out of the party.
So keeping with the vegan theme, I ordered another vegan dish that's a vegan twist on a very classic Greek dish. So this is mushroom souvlaki. Souvlaki is typically meat that's grilled on a skewer and then placed on a pita with some vegetables. And as we're learning very quickly in Greece, French fries seem to be on everything. So it's served on a pita here, and I think this is probably the prettiest presentation we've ever seen for souvlaki. Truth be told, if you were to tell me these were mushrooms, I almost wouldn't believe you, because it almost looks like meat the way they charred it and seasoned it so well. When we were originally trying to find this restaurant, we saw it had amazing reviews online, but we actually had to walk by it twice because the signage out front is different, and I guess this vegan restaurant shares the same store as another non-vegan restaurant, so they actually have two menus in the same menu book. But we found this place, and so far we're happy. I will see if I'm still happy after trying this, but here goes the first bite. I'm trying to determine if this is a hand food or a fork and knife food, because that is a full pita. I'm gonna wager it's a fork and knife dish. All right, so we've got everything on this bite here. I'm going in. Immediately, that might be the best pita we've had in all our time in Greece. It's light and fluffy, and the tzatziki tastes like it's really homemade and fresh. I'm going for another mushroom bite here. The mushrooms are hearty and seasoned really well. You can definitely still tell they're a mushroom, which I like because I'm a big mushroom fan. So we thought we were finished with our meal, but our waitress was kind enough to bring us out a dessert on the house, and she explained to us that this is like a vegan jello, and it definitely is a jello-like consistency. The spoon just bounces right off the top, and it looks like there's slices of pineapple in there. So I have the bigger sweet tooth out of me and Courtney, so I'm gonna dive in for this first bite. Whoa, that is jello. I like it a lot. Yeah. That's really good. So I'm going to say that normally I am not a Jell-O fan. Sometimes Jell-O would make it on salad or into strange desserts. I just never really liked it. I have to say though, I actually really enjoy this. I was really expecting a harsh pineapple or artificial flavor, but it feels really simple with just small hints of flavor coming through in just the right amount of sweetness. They're not trying to over-sweeten this. Down the hatch. For our next stop, we're visiting probably our favorite and most frequented restaurant on the island for a collection of amazing Greek eats.
So this is a version we haven't had yet. This is called kebab. And as I understand it, it's sort of like the Bosnian minced meat, which we absolutely loved when we were in Bosnia. So I think this is going to pair pretty well together. And some other things on this pita are tomato, lettuce, red onion, and fries. We have been absolutely loving all the fries on these gyros, which we didn't expect. Gyros at home don't really have fries on them, so I think it's such a solid addition. And it even looks like they have some seasoning on these fries. It kind of looks like paprika, but we'll see. And of course the tzatziki sauce, which I haven't met a tzatziki sauce I didn't like, so I'm gonna dive in here. Oh my gosh, that meat is the absolute perfect consistency. It's almost buttery in a sense, but it's balanced out well by that tzatziki sauce, which really freshens it up. Go in for another bite here. Dang, lots of fry. And those veggies on there are actually very fresh. I'm getting some crunches, so that's always a good sign. This is pretty impressive, and it's one of the cheapest gyros we've had so far as well, so definitely impressing us.
So what I have here is your standard gyros. You'll find these all over Greece, with Santorini being no exception. As Courtney mentioned, these are some of the most affordable things you can get while you're eating out in the Greek islands. This was under $4, which is a pretty good deal. And as you can tell, I've already taken the liberty of starting because I was ravenous. We were originally going to walk to a viewpoint. It was 15 minutes from our restaurant, and we just stumbled across this little spot right on the road that has amazing views of both the sea and the cliffside houses. So that's what we're really liking about Santorini, is just everywhere you look is beautiful, whether it's nature or man-made. And clearly the food's pretty good too. So the next thing we're trying is a traditional Greek salad, and these are actually very different than if you ordered a Greek salad in the United States. And that's because there's actually no lettuce at all in the salad. The bulk of the salad is made up of tomatoes here, which we found is very common across Greece. And that makes this thing very, very weighty. This thing probably weighs a pound, maybe even a pound and a half. I think a lot of that's coming from the tomatoes, but there's also tons of other veggies in here too. So we have a bunch of tomatoes, cucumbers it looks like, red onion, green pepper, and I believe those are olives in there. And the cherry on top of this is just a humongous piece of feta. It looks like it's bigger than a jumbo index card you'd use for making flashcards in college. And it's just drizzled in olive oil, and it seems to be some Greek spices on top. I'm gonna dive in for my first bite here. All right, first bite of feta here. I don't know what it is about fresh feta. It is so much creamier than stuff you get at the store. And when you coat it with the olive oil and the spices on there, that is such a showstopper. It's just such a powerful bite. That is really good. I was a little caught off guard because the logo of this restaurant is a copy-paste Pumbaa from The Lion King, which, based on how good that gyro was, makes sense why they'd have a pig on there. They easily could have had a salad as their logo because that is a ridiculously good salad. I'm only for a medley bite here. Brother. So I've got a couple other things here. I have the tomato, onions, and cucumber here in one bite, and I know my mom is going to be rolling her eyes if she watches this for my poor table manners, but Mom, I'm sorry, I have to go in. It is so fresh and juicy. The peppers have such a nice crunch. We actually saw them cutting all the vegetables fresh just for our salad, so it's not like they just sit around all day getting soggy. These are fresh cut vegetables. The tomatoes are so plump and watery, but still have a lot of flavor to them, and all those herbs really give it a nice warmth to the whole dish. Really refreshing.
So that's it for our Santorini food tour. Please do us a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to our channel to see our other videos from the Greek islands and all over the world. We just released videos covering the Greek islands of Mykonos and Paros, and we'll be releasing a complete Santorini travel guide next. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.